Hello there. I am at the kitchen sink about to address you. And you may have been running this entire time as I've been trying to figure out my new configuration. What I'm going to do is everything but the kitchen sink is what we talk about. And it's all done in the shoebox kitchen. You know, what's really funny is that was meant as an insult from somebody that obviously has more money than I do, which means they live in a better place. Yeah, this is my shoebox kitchen. I love my shoebox kitchen. So welcome to Kat's shoebox kitchen. I'm also known as Granny in the kitchen. I now have two granddaughters. Two, count them. That was a fail. And no cats, no dogs, and no boyfriends. And I did go on Bumble for a little while. I have my little Bumble story. And I also have my story about Mr. Oyster. So let's wrap those up, shall we? So, when you're fresh out of a narcissistically abusive relationship, you don't go straight into the dating pool. That's a very dangerous thing to do. So my last official physical encounter with my ex was in October of 2021, when I more or less gave him a happy birthday as well as a see you later. I wanted that to be the way I ended it. And then he returned my stuff to me in December. And I had changed the locks by then, and I had requested he leave everything in the foyer, where I have a very large enclosed area in my shoebox kitchen. I have a beautiful outdoor breezeway. And I said, just please leave it out there. So he did. And the things that I really, really wanted, like my extra Berkey water heater, my cast iron lodge camping equipment, is the grill. One side it's flat and on the other side it's ridged. A exterior flower container that I had that looked like a Grecian influence. I love that thing. Those are pricey, and you can't find that design anymore. I paid $60. It's probably worth $100 now. Yeah, nice outdoor things cost money. I had a French Parisian styled like wine holder, like this. It's pink, all with illustrations of cafes and stuff. Paris. It's filled with all kinds of little old bottles. And this one is too. Like, I grew up in New Hampshire, and there was this foundation that we called the dump, and it had been used as a dump. People put their old bottles and stuff in there. This is New Hampshire. So we grew up with this. So this is like what the ladies used to use. So there's a whole container of these in Virginia. I don't care. But if he were to die, I'd want my stuff back. And I talked to his sister-in-law, and she's on board. She said, okay, we'll let you know. Her name is Kim. She's like, yeah, we'll let you know if he dies. You can give me a list of the stuff you want to get, and you can get it. By then, I might be over it. But, you know, in the meantime, I might be into it. So I like to keep my options open. And it'd be a good closure for me, I think, just to go up there and see everybody and be like, yeah, man, he was a mess. We're all expecting him to croak at any minute, but somehow he's still alive. I mean, I think it's because he was the firstborn. When you're the firstborn, you're the first one to rob that mother's bone mass. You know what I'm saying? Bone mass. That babies take a toll on a woman's body. And so the firstborn usually has pretty robust health. They don't always take care of it. But all in all, I'm pretty proud of my genetics. I do need to learn how to take care of myself better. I find that without a relationship, without a solid one, which I haven't had since, when did things go bad with my second husband? I mean, whatever happened to him, right? Why did that end? Well, I'm not going to go into great length and great detail, but I was a trophy wife, it turned out. So I wasn't treated so well and was verbally abused, and I couldn't take but so much. And my body quit first, meaning I became constipated, and I couldn't understand why I couldn't take an SHIT until Monday morning when he was at work. Because all weekend long, control. They control your every move. And I'm so attuned to the controlling man. I have an aversion to it. I have a high aversion to it. Which brings us to the oyster guy. So the oyster guy was a controller from the very beginning. From the very beginning, he was a controller. I could sense that, and I just kept saying no. And he got the message, but he still won't let go. And it's great because I get to see the projection. I get the way he invents things in his head. He tells things about me. He tells me things that are true, but in a way that makes it sound like it's bad, but it isn't. Like he would throw me off balance. True. I need that balance and harmony in my life right now. True. And his chaotic lifestyle would throw me off balance. True. The key word here is off balance. Well, wouldn't you know it? He was supposed to go to that gala with me. The one, there's a video on it. It's a fundraiser for the Lung Cancer Initiative in Raleigh, North Carolina. He was supposed to go with me, and not with me, but meet me there. You know, I thought it'd be really fun. I thought he would enjoy hobnobbing with people. But wouldn't you know it, he is so off balance. He's in the woods and he twists his ankle. He goes into a rabbit hole. So now he can't walk. And there was a girl there that had a leg in a boot, and she had one of those carriers. Like you're in it like this. One knee is up like that, other one's down. See that one? That's on like a rolling scooter thing, like a tricycle, but for the leg. And the person is, and I was gonna video it and then send it to him and saying, see, she made it. But I knew I didn't want to encourage the relationship because he agitated me. And his text messages were filled with like insinuations, assumptions, and projections. And even the night I met him, after I'd already given him my phone number, he became ultra controlling. Like in his conversation and everything, but it was still nice. I mean, what I find when I'm accompanied with a man, the Red Sea parts. So I was with him, and two people came over. We were having fun. We were laughing. I was enjoying his company. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, please. Please. I just don't like too much attention at all. I need people to back off. A channel? Yes, I want attention. If I'm going out onto a stage intentionally, yes, I want attention. But I'm out there in public, just mingling with people, just being. I didn't want any attention on me. I wanted to be able to roll with it. And so I was with these people, and we were rolling with it, and it was fun. But I had to tell him down, boy, several times because he kept wanting to include me in things. I go, listen, meaning fill in the whole entire history for something that happened with this group. And I was like, I go, you don't have to do that, please. Just, that's nice of you, but please don't. Like, you don't have to. He's like, I just want to include you. I go, oh, I'm included. But please. And so I am in this role of suddenly having to give him my attention. He was grabbing at my attention. And that's what it felt like. And under the guise of him wanting to include me, it was him grabbing at me, grabbing. It's like peck, 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 you know? And I have a neck ache. So that's not gonna happen. But I did want to tell him about the gala and to say that he was missed, but his dessert was eaten by the girls that sat next to me. And they asked permission first, and I said, oh, by all means, I'm not going to eat it. Oh, man. Girls, I mean women, you know, in their 40s, maybe in their 50s. But water break, everybody. Grab yourself a cup of cuppa. I'm having water. I think I'm gonna do a like, what do you call it? Is November the month that you go booze free, or did that happen already? I missed it. Is it sober October? Well, how about borderline November? Can I do that? I'll do borderline November. I'll do special events. I have one lined up, and of course there's Thanksgiving. And then there's always that conversation with my friend, Steven. You know who I'm talking about. I met him at a wreath making class, and we've been buds ever since. That is a nice thing about the town I live in. There are plenty of single people, but there are plenty of happy single people, not looking for, or I don't know. I can't pretend to figure people out. I just know it's the holidays. So guess what? I had actually swiped right twice, and then I had to send them both a message that said, after just a little bit of back and forth, it was a I'm taking a break until 2025. It's the holidays. If you're still here, I know that that you're still available. That's what I said. So whatever they do. But I've noticed that I haven't put enough energy into me. So it's like I'm not stretching, I'm not exercising, and now I'm going to negate that, and I'm going to say I am now stretching again, breathing again, enjoying my body again, admiring the holes I just noticed in my armpits. This is one of my favorite sweaters, and eventually those holes will become big enough to become fashion statements, and then I can do this special sewing around them that makes it look intentional. You remember that fashion statement where everybody had their deltoid out? Well, wouldn't it make more sense to have the armpit open already? Designers, armpits. We need to have open armpits. Does anybody have that as a funny bone or as an erogenous zone? Anybody? I think the back of the hand on somebody's face, oh, that does it for so many people. It's like such a beautiful gesture to touch somebody's face with the back of your hand. If you were ever slapped across the face, that might not be something you desire or consider, and the least bit pleasant, but try it on yourself. It is very nice. This is different. That feels, you can feel this different skin layer, which is only shows up on the palm of the hand and the soles of the feet. It's our callus area. So on the back of the hands, very soft. This is rougher. Even if somebody has incredibly soft hands. So to wrap it up, I met one guy on Bumble, my first and last date of 2024. I met Mr. Oyster, the Oyster guy at the 42nd Street Oyster Bar, organically. And after meeting both of them frequently enough to get an idea, they're not jiving with me. One of them didn't take any of this in. The other one believed in it, and I said, hey, you better stop at 3 because of what happened to my mother. This is medical advice. I'm not a doctor, and this is story. This is urban legend. It's not saying, I'm not saying this is really true, but I was there in the doctor's office when the doctor said there's a certain mixture of things that you should avoid. So I think she was getting a yearly thing that begins with an F, has an L in it and a U in it. And then she got this many total of the new one, the crowned one that crowns them all. That was the one that she got 4 rounds. And what doctor said was that creates very interesting patternings with that cocktail. And that the fact is, and I'm not saying it's causation, it could be just correlation, but the fact is she had a large insurgence of deaths. She lost a great number. A great number of her patients. And I laugh, that word patience. Yeah, you have to have patience waiting for a doctor, that's for sure. So then I went ahead and, like I said, right swipe just to see the other material out there, just to see what 2025 had holding for me, like what I might be interested in. And I realized that, and I checked them, and I sent them my message, which was, let's just freeze. And if you're still here in 2025, we'll see what's alive. So in the meantime, the Oyster guy and I are back and forth, and he's projecting onto me again, but everything was right. So I was like, yeah, you would throw me off balance. Yeah, I said all of these things. So he read me right. He's a smart guy. But he was still at it. And I was like, we'll always have 42nd Street Oyster Bar. I mean, if you ever want to hang out with me, we'll meet for oysters. That's the extent of our relationship. That right there. And a gallivanting night down Glenwood South, in which I left at 11:10 because I had clients the next day at 11. So I went home and went to bed. I woke up with a man's voicemail, and I knew that I had exchanged numbers. It's not like I forgot. But it was off to the races with him. And I felt corralled and pushed. So I put the brakes on, and I'm glad I did. There's not a problem there. It's just he's not self-aware. He's insightful to a degree, but he's not self-aware. And what his motivations are, like so many men that I see with pictures on the dating sites of themselves hiking and biking, whatever. There's he, she, there's her, there's his, there's hers, and there's theirs. And yes, I would love to do activities with my man, but I don't want to go on a bike ride with him unless it's for fun. If he's wearing all, it's like, no. Let's go to Bald Head Island and go without helmets and just like enjoy the wind in our hair. I'm not going to get all racy with you and have you slow down for me. I just don't want the whole feeling of that. I already did that for 10 years. I need a break from this playmate thing. I want a man who will cook dinner beside me, not the man who says, I'll cook for you if you clean the dishes. The way you get onto my hate list is I'll cook for you as long as you clean the dishes. No deal. I will cook for you and you clean the dishes, motherfucker. Or how about this? We both cook something together and we both clean up after ourselves. Yeah? I like that idea even better. It's egalitarian. That's what we need, not equality. Egalitarianism. There's things I'm good at. There's things that he's good at. I had one partner, but actually quite a few of them. They always wanted me to answer questions with a yes or a no. It's like, there is no yes and no. There's a maybe. There's a, what are you getting at? What's the question behind the question? It infuriates them. Narcissists only see in black and white. But anyway, I'm extrapolating myself on these relationships. And, you know, the more I thought about Mr. Bumble, the more I saw his passive aggressiveness as well, and his manipulative control, the way he steered me around the wide open bluegrass, way he always looked over at me to be like, hey, let's move now. The look I saw in his eye once, which was cruel. The way when we went to the film festival, he waited for me in his car, even though he could have waited for me. And he got there first. I told him I was shooting for 3. I got there at 2:45. He'd already been there and scattered out the whole thing. That's control. That's not protective. That's control. That's not, hey, let's see. So I'm like, why would I want to be with a man whose soup and his cans are always probably facing the same direction? In his, like, it just freaked me out. I just started thinking about it. Like, whoa, he probably has control issues. And then I go, oof. I did everything right after telling him in a text that I was available on Saturday and looking to do something with him. I don't hear from him. And then he says, I'm available on Sunday. That's what he says. And I go, I'm not. I'm not changing my plans for you. You're the one that has 2 weekends in a row with your newlywed daughter. And your injury that came right before the wedding came from hoisting a friend on a paddleboard. There's something you're not telling me, motherfucker. You're out here for more supply. Yeah, you can see them. And then he breaks it off. Of course he does, because I didn't fall for the bait. They have to break it off in order to act like they are in control. And then what does he do? He breadcrumbs me. And after I said it was nice walking beside you for a short while, he then says, well, if you'd like somebody to accompany you in the future, please reach out. Two weekends in a row, he can't see me because his daughter, she's a newlywed. He's going up there, then she's coming down. Really? And at the wedding just that last month, he injures his bicep hoisting some friend on the paddleboard over the wave and dislocates the muscle and has to have surgery. Ding. So you see it all like there, you see it all. And when you see it, you're like, whoa. I was just playing the charade. You fall into the game because as an empath, there's a projection that they present to you. There's this whole thing. But I kept calling them on it. And it's a good thing that I was honest. And my body, again, I was with him and I got the most terrifically awful lower back ache. So this Mr. Oyster, it's in the upper neck, and with Mr. Bumble, it's in the lower back. So I'm taking time out to decenter men, of course. They always were decentered, and that's why you can respond so well to not responding, which is they want you to jump here. Oh, I want you to go do Sunday rather than Saturday. Or in the case of the oyster guy, I want you to do breakfast. I want you to come cycling with me. I learned how to skate backwards just so you feel comfortable on quads and you're going to come roller skating with me. No, I'm not stepping into your world. I've done that. It's no good for me. It's no good for me. I am not stepping into a man's topsy-turvy world. I'm not being their cheerleader. No. So you get to process all of that and you go, wow, that's what it all was. I get it now. I'm learning. So more later. This has been quite the coffee clutch. These are Cat's kitchen sessions, also known as Granny. And the shoebox, actually it's Cat's shoebox. Granny in the kitchen, in Cat's shoebox kitchen. Sometimes she has bitchin' sessions. But what she does for all of things is she does take you on dating adventures in the city of nuts. I love you all. More later.